Well, today on Capitol Hill, a fiery hearing over the decision to release 5 high-level Taliban leaders in exchange for Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, a U.S. soldier held hostage for 5 years after leaving his post in Afghanistan. A member of Bergdahl's platoon was called to testify and later said he, quote, lost it after hours of questions about Bergdahl's motives. Watch.
I realize that the vast majority of our soldiers, Marines, etc., are subjected to those pressures and do not act inexplicably.
Can I have permission to speak?
Yes.
Well, you're asking Dr. Jacobson what situation Bergdahl was in over there. I was with Bergdahl and at the same location. I could give you a first-hand account of exactly what Bergdahl was going through because I went through the exact same conditions.
Joining me now with a Kelly Fowler exclusive, Cody Full. Good to see you again, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. And so I know what was happening there. There was a Democrat who was trying to get testimony on what happened to Bergdahl from a guy we've had on the show. He's a nice guy. He's a Democrat. He was in the armed services, but he wasn't in Bergdahl's platoon.
No, that's the thing is every question they asked him, he spun it. He never gave a real answer. This guy, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know him personally. I'm not going to judge him personally. But what I can tell you from his military experience, he's been in the Navy Reserve as an officer in an intelligence capacity. So he's never been on the front lines. Those guys are typically on a big base with all the home, you know, the Pizza Huts, the gyms, the phone calls, the TVs. And he wasn't out there with me and Bergdahl, and I was getting frustrated with. They kept asking him, well, what was Bergdahl's thoughts? Well, what was Bergdahl going through? What was his living conditions? And I'm sitting 3 feet away. I was living in the same living conditions and everything else.
Why didn't he want to hear from you?
I guess you'd have to ask the congressman, Megan. I have no idea.
I mean, is it potentially that he didn't think your testimony was going to be very good for Bo Bergdahl?
Well, I'm speaking the truth. I've told the truth since the very beginning. Some people don't want to hear the truth. That's fine. I'll keep talking it and people keep listening. Did
they respect you when you were there? Did they sit there and listen to your testimony?
Yes, they did. There was members going in and out all day. I'm sure with the crisis in Iraq, you know, I'm sure they had to get to other committees and stuff of that nature. But everybody was fairly respectful, yes.
What was it like for you? I mean, you go from fighting in the deserts of Afghanistan to finding yourself testifying before Congress on a member of your unit who you believe deserted.
Well, it's the first step towards justice for him. I would like to see a congressional oversight committee into his trial. I know there have been officers that have been, you know, fired, retirement, whatever, in the past 6 years that may have not agreed with some people, and I'd like to see a congressional oversight committee be with the investigation on Bergdahl to make sure this isn't whitewashed and, you know, the American justice system prevails.
Thank you for your service and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Megan.
All the best. We'll be right back and coming up on Hannity at the top of the hour.
It's almost like we're overwhelmed by the number of crises and conflicts that are arising as a result of the incompetence and, in some instances, the design of this